And we're live. A most gracious good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm Charles Phoenix. Thank you for joining me for Floridaland, where we are going to behold the glory of the world's ultimate of all-time vacation paradise. Yes, we are taking a retro dream vacation slideshow tour of the Sunshine State in the 50s and 60s, you guys. I mean, I had no idea, like, the depth of it all. I mean, until I really took the deep dive into my vintage slide collection. You guys, I've been collecting other people's old slides for 30 years. And so what you're about to see is my favorite of all of the slides that I've collected that people took on their vacations in Florida in the 1950s and 60s. So I have, like I said, I have a whole new appreciation. I mean, I knew Florida was a tourist destination extravaganza, but I'm from California. I've actually been to Florida several times in search of some of the classic places, attractions, and Miami Beach, of course. And we are going to explore that today and more galore. So are you ready to go? I better get my clicker. I've got my clicker. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, where do we begin to behold the glory of how much we all seriously love Humpty Dumpty on any wall, at any time, at any place? I know, and this guy is picture perfect in every way. That little brim straw hat, that collar framing his egg-shaped head, gorgeous. And of course, the expression on his face, current mood right now. I know. And his little bow tie and everything. This is Storyland, Florida. Admission, children 25 cents, adults 88 cents. I love the font of Storyland, you guys. Font designers in the house. Now would be your time to take a note. Also the fact that they have married a swan with an S. A black and a pink and a white swan. Or is that maybe even part flamingo? I know. How much do we love flamingos? Where do we begin? So while we're at Storyland, the font appreciation continues. This slide, though, is not about that candy cane stripe font, not about the castle, not about the colored turrets, not about that very realistic clown portrait there, not about the sign on the lower right that says no parking, not about the little boy that someone told to walk way, 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 way over there, right in the middle. We'll take your picture even though we can't see who you are anyway. No, this slide is about that little blue sign on the far left of the frame. You are now leaving the land of reality. Florida welcomes you. So you guys, in 1949, the state of Florida started building these welcoming stations. They were, as you can see, little picture-perfect mid-century modern masterpieces in every way. They were on the highways leading in and out of the state, and there were, many. And so they were, I don't know how many they built, but anyway, you would go there, stop in, and there would be all the brochures for all the places. There'd be people to answer all your questions, of course, and to be very hospitable. If you were lucky, like Miss Florida might be there that day greeting you, or Miss, Grapefruit Queen or whatever. Also, they would give you a glass of fresh squeezed Florida orange juice. But ultimately, once they started to build the interstates, these little welcome stations kind of, fell out of favor and no one was stopping anymore, so the state closed them. And according to the legend, many of them became liquor stores or bars. I know. So you guys, you cannot say Florida without saying motel. We could do a whole show about motels, but we're not going to, but we could. But we're going to do some motels, of course, because how much do we love motel culture, you guys? We are in the era of mom and pop motels. Everyone is different. Every single one is different. Everyone is special as well. And all homespun, like this one, the Everglades Motel. I love the sage green, the pale sage green. I love the apricot colored doors there, that brick trim, the plantings between each door on your far right, underneath the awning of the office, a Coke machine. How much do we love vintage Coke machines? I know. That ice maker, everything. And how about those two lawn chairs having a very deep conversation about how gorgeous that orange glow is, not only of the flowers that surround them, you guys, but that the entrance neon on that arrow that points you right to the front door of this, the Everglades Motel. I know. Speaking of motels, there's no such thing as a motel without a swimming pool. Oh, I know. And how much do we love swimming pools, glittering in the glistening sunshine of the Sunshine State. I love the palm trees. I love the umbrellas. There's a striped one back there. And then there's solids. But don't you love the scalloped edge and the fringe? I know. Anyway, the patio furniture. And to match that sparkling swimming pool back there, we have, of course, a 1959 Ford Fairlane 500 Sunliner convertible. Yeah, that matches the pool. I know. In the middle of the pool is, I'm not sure if this is a decorative fountain or a bidet for the Jolly Green Giant, but anyway, it's there and I like it. And of course, right up front, we have, well, Missy Lee there. Isn't she gorgeous in all of her, I've just arrived in Florida, with a skirt that doesn't know if it wants to be cut on the straight of grain or on the bias. Speaking of tourists in Florida, not everyone is a tourist. Sometimes, some people go regularly every year, like the woman wearing the dead palm frond headdress right here. Her name is Olga. She and her husband owned a septic tank company in Ohio, and I know from her slide collection that they went every year to Florida. So they're in the trailer park. They had a trailer in the trailer park, and they are leaning against a 1957, speaking of Fords, a 1957 Ford Fairlane 500 country sedan station wagon. Don't you love station wagons, you guys? I know. And that rich shade of apricot, isn't it gorgeous? Paired with a whipped cream white. I know. So Mr. Plaid shirt, gray pants, the lady with a little white little shell and little simple printed skirt, and Olga there in her shades of brown plaid and a brown trouser pant. They all have cameras. Well, Florida is a very photogenic place. Strike a pose. There's nothing to it. Olga sporting an orange sherbet sunsuit, a jumpsuit, sleeveless. She is sitting between her 1952 Buick, and she always drove Buicks. They always drove Buicks. She's probably guarding her trailer, because who would not want to back up to that trailer, hook it up, and take it away and make it their own? That is you guys, you want to talk about a mid-century modern masterpiece of the absolute highest order? Take a look at this trailer. This should be in the dictionary under the word divine. Under the words divine or perfection. Or as in my world, divine perfection, because that's what it is. Look at the shape of that trailer. Look at the heft of that trailer. Look how sturdy it looks, how solid it looks. I know. And don't you love red and white together? Oh yes, you do. This could be your Christmas trailer. Maybe it is Christmas for all I know. Well, it probably is, because they're probably in Florida, escaping the winter of Ohio. But we're not talking about the winter of Ohio right now. We're talking about that gracious white stripe that goes right up above there of those tanks, and it comes down and flows back and takes your eye right to the window with the Venetian blinds, not to mention that screen door with that honey blonde wood framing. I know, where do we begin to behold the glory? Well, get dressed, Olga. You're going to the Sarasota Beach Club. There you are, with your camera in your very nice gold warm day dress, and her friend there wearing a beautiful sundress in a picture-perfect shade of chartreuse. Yes, this is the Sarasota, Florida Beach Club, built in 1940. Unfortunately, it no longer stands. But anyway, we're not talking about that. Look how gorgeous it is, you guys. Don't you love those beams that come out on that semicircular, lookout? And of course, I love the breeze block there with a diamond shape, and those pillars, those columns, that railing, and of course, the crowning touch, the seahorses. Aren't they gorgeous? I know. Anyway, you guys, just out of frame on the left side is the beach. And here we are. And yes, strike a pose. There is nothing to it. They're doing the hood ornament pose. That is not easy to do. Let this be an inspiration to you and your friends and family this coming summer by the seaside or the riverside or the lakeside, wherever you happen to be. Why don't you give this a whirl? Give everyone a thrill. As you can see, there's a lady in a red bathing suit taking the picture. The people on the right aren't paying attention at all. I don't know what the lady in the plaid jacket is over her white bathing suit, what she's doing. Reading something maybe. Looking at something on her phone? No. Anyway, but the guy there, I mean, he cannot believe his eyes. Look at what has just arrived at the Sarasota Beach Club. So I don't know where this guy came from, but I do know he is covered from head to toe with, I'm not saying tattoos anymore, I'm saying tattoos. So yeah, we should say tattoo because it's more fun. But anyway, can you believe this guy? I know. Is he like a part of the circus? I'm not sure. And the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus, maybe? I know. Anyway, this guy is a sight to behold in every way, every day. Just think, if you invited him over for dinner and you didn't have a place to seat him at the table, he could hang from the chandeliers. I know. And the guy there in that beautiful wool gabardine navy blue suit is just like, he cannot believe his eyes. I know. Olga continues. Here's Olga again. Olga is sporting a very beautiful red fishing ensemble with a white piping detail, white buttons, and a white bobby sock, a sensible shoe, and sunglasses, and the boater's cap, how much do we love the captain's hat, you guys? And it says Bluefin Marina, Phone Key Largo, 2331, caught with Captain Frank. That must be Captain Frank there, dressed in his khakis. Captain in khakis. And then we have, I don't know who that is. If Olga is Lucy, then this must be her Ethel, in a gray flannel, I don't know if it's flannel, but a gray pant. Sorry, okay, I better calm down. Everything's fine. In a gray pant. Don't you love the plaid over that like white and green floral? I know. And those sunglasses are just commanding. And the captain's hat. Absolutely love it. You want fish? Fine. How about a big fish? A real big fish. So this is a fish on wheels. And look, it is bigger than those cars that are beside it, you guys. Cocoa, Florida, trout capital of the world. I personally love trout, you guys, don't you? Fried or flied or however you want to. Uh-oh, I have to take a drink now, sorry. Maybe you can have a drink too. Okay, anyway, I don't know about you, but I just love giant things, especially on wheels. I want somebody to recreate this and drive this around Cocoa Beach, Florida, or Cocoa, Florida, wherever it is, because I mean, the world needs more whimsy. We all know that. If you like fish, you like lobster. Here is the lobster's house. Low Guns Lobster House. Free parking. Love the gooseneck lights. Love the sign, the shape of the signboard, you guys. And don't you love the way it says Lobster House on a banner? Like you know, what's that thing called that the Miss Universe wears? The sash. The sash. It's like a sash. And I love how it fades to zero on the left. Native seafood, turtle steak, stone crab steaks, chicken, key lime pie, breakfast, lunch, dinner varieties. Dinner varieties. Speaking of dinner varieties, we're going to dinner right now. I don't know what restaurant this is, but I just had to show it to you. First of all, that urn in the background, you guys. The waitresses there are dressed in lavender. There's 3 of them back there. One's looking at us. And she's probably hoping that we notice that her uniform, the waitress uniforms, match the powder coating in lavender on that patio furniture that you sit on inside the restaurant. I mean, we need a moment for that, you guys. Let's have some lavender patio furniture appreciation right now. I know. And right up close there on the lower left, you can see those 2 turned over, well, so dust doesn't settle in them, tumblers of milk glass. Milk glass. Yeah, milk glass. You know milk glass? I know. So, anyway, sorry, hold on one second. Okay. I'm like frothing. I can't help it. I mean, like lavender patio furniture and milk glass together and these people enjoying a dinner somewhere in Florida. The guy on the left there is not that happy, but he's all dressed up. He has his bow tie on. I love the fact he has like a big prime rib. And then those 2 women, they're like, I don't know, they're from the old country. They don't know how to smile. And then the guy on the right, though, he's very happy with his napkin in his lap and everything. And he is holding up his fried shrimp. How much do we all love fried shrimp? I love fried shrimp. I love fried shrimp. I love fried shrimp. I need some fried shrimp. I really need some fried shrimp right now. Maybe I could get some at the supermarket, you guys. Publix Market. So, you guys, Publix Market is one of the biggest supermarket chains in the United States. It started in 1930 in Florida, and if you ever go to Florida, you're going to run into a Publix market. So the guy who started Publix, he worked for a place called Piggly Wiggly. Maybe some of you have heard of that. And in 1930, he was like managing Piggly Wiggly, and he was called from Florida to where he was managing Piggly Wiggly. Sorry, I just want to say Piggly Wiggly. He was managing Piggly Wiggly, and he was called to a meeting in Atlanta at the main office of Piggly Wiggly. So he went there, and like the guy who he was going to meet with, like made him wait like 6 hours for the meeting. So he was fuming mad. He had the meeting, and on the way home, driving back to Florida, he said to himself, you know what? I am going to open my own supermarket chain. And indeed he did. Hello, Publix Market. Now, Publix Market, don't you love the mid-century modern shape of it and everything? The cars in the parking lot, especially the 1958 Oldsmobile right up front in metallic blue. I know. But anyway, you guys, Publix Market really had a thing about like, you have arrived, that thing that you know, well, it's kind of like a rocket ship. Well, it's many things. That piece of that decorative sculpture up there. I mean, it's breathtaking, isn't it? I know. Well, in 1957, this one was built probably in the early 50s. In 1957, they built this. Yes, in Lakeland, Florida, Southgate Shopping Center. Where do we begin to behold the glory of one of the greatest Googie Goo signboards ever created in the history of the known universe? But let's not let it go unnoticed. We have Tom McCann's, we have a toy store, we have Woolworths, but we also have, yeah, I know. It's like the St. Louis Arch and the theme building at LAX had a baby, but this was before either one of those, 1957. I am here to tell you, I was there. I went there 6 years ago, and it is still standing there to this day. The Southgate Shopping Center, that's me down there doing the yeah, I couldn't believe it. So anyway, this is actually one of I think the only current day slide. Well, there's one more coming up, but of the world today in this retro slideshow, you guys. But I just had to show this to you because this is a masterpiece of mid-century modernity in every way, every day. Thank you, Lakeland, Florida, for maintaining this incredible piece of mid-century. Well, I mean, mid-century. I mean, it is the very definition of mid-century. Okay, I better just calm down right now, you guys, because we are having fun at the Auto Fair and Carriage Cavalcade at Florida's Silver Springs. How much do we all love classic cars of any era, of any kind, in every way, every day? I know. I just love this, you guys, because it's like, you know, it's a flat painting that looks so good. Whoever did it, I know. I'm just thinking, though, that convertible top that's folded down back there, that looks real. I think it must be real. I don't know. But anyway, the whole thing, I just love the way the smoke is painted. I love the turn of the century or, you know, early 1900s clothes they're wearing. Of course, this is a thing where you walk up and put your face there, but it looks so realistic, doesn't it? I know. Even though the guy only has one leg and his arm is extra long. But anyway, never mind that. Here is Silver Springs. Okay, you guys, as I said, Florida is loaded up with tourist attractions like, I mean, not to be believed. East, west, north, and south. But Silver Springs is probably the oldest of all of the tourist attractions, of nature's tourist attractions. Silver Springs, home of the glass-bottom boats. I love the space age signage. I love the entrance arrow. I love the Florida font. I love Silver Springs, italicized. And on the left there, up on the sign is for you to see the little model of the glass bottom boat that you will be riding around in, and there it is. So you guys, I have to say, I mean, I wish that I had a picture that wasn't taken from another boat, but you are actually seeing the back of a child's head and one of the beams of our posts of another boat looking out on another boat, but it doesn't take away the fact that you can fill in the rest of the back of the boat there. Look how gorgeous it is. That coral color, those porthole windows, everyone's looking down at the glass, you know, so you can see down. Anyway, you know what it looks like underground and everything. It's all kind of aqua color, and there's like, you know, kind of charcoal color fish around, and some tour guide is telling you what they are, and the legend and the lore of it all. Part of the legend and the lore of it all. There is, again, a shot of Silver Springs you see here. This was after, or I think actually, sorry, before they painted all the boats up in beautiful colors like yellow, avocado green, maroon, and as you just saw, coral. But anyway, there is a lady there having, well, it looks like she's having a really good time. I think this is the best time she's had in a very long time, for that palm tree is creating quite a magical, mystical moment of divinity for this woman, who is dressed very, well, she's dressed like she's in like dead of winter, in a forest green wool coat with 2 large buttons and what looks to be like a striped carpet bag and a simple walking shoe of black. Yes, indeed. So back there, you guys, yeah, I know there's nature's wonderland there. There's all kinds of palm trees doing crazy things like this one, but we're not looking at that right now. We're not looking at the boats. Behind that, you see this. This is the welcome center there, Silver Springs Gifts, restrooms, photo shop, restrooms, snack bar. I mean, there's a lot of restrooms there. But anyway, don't you love the multicolored beams coming out, you guys, there? Very mid-century modern, I know. And those coral colored, how much do we love coral? Anything coral. Those coral covered benches there and everything, and that old lady walking. I love how old ladies walk, don't you? I know. So the tour continues, you guys, at Silver Springs. Wishing tree. I have to look close at this because it's hard to see. According to the... no, gosh, I can't even read this. I better get new glasses. According to an old Seminole Indian legend. Yeah, oh dear, I think, hold on, I've got to go out of frame, you guys. According to an old, according to an old Seminole Indian legend, anyone who sits in the curve of the palm tree, curve of the palm, I really do need new glasses. Anyone who sits in the curve of the tree, of the palm and makes a wish will have it come true in a year. Anybody who sits in the curve of a palm trunk. Okay, well, anyway, I don't know. Apparently, though, this lady doesn't want to wait a year for her wish to come true. When you wish upon a palm tree trunk. Anyway, you guys, I know. Sorry, I couldn't even read it. Yeah, okay. Time for new glasses. Anyway, don't miss Homosassa Springs, nature's own attraction. Was the name of this attraction originally? Yeah, they called it Nature's Own Attraction. But in 1962, a wealthy businessman from upstate New York bought the property, and he said, you know what, we've got to change the name. We're going to call it, it's no longer going to be called Nature's Own Attraction. That doesn't work. We're going to call it what it is, Homosassa Springs. But you know what? I think that they would have done a lot more business if they would have called it Homosexual Springs. Don't you? I know. Oh, you want some little Wild West? Fine. Ride the train or sky ride to Six Gun Territory. Oh, yes, a Western village. How much do we love Western towns? So you guys, I mean, Florida did not skip a beat. They had the Western town, and there it is, Six Gun Territory. Ride the train or the sky ride. You want a sky ride? I'll show you a sky ride, you guys. Here's a sky ride. Well, this isn't it, but we have arrived at the Miami Seaquarium, built in the year of 1955. This slide was marked, actually written on the slide, my first wife. I know. Well, we all know there are no guarantees in life. Anyway, I love the porpoise there looking up at the word Seaquarium. And, of course, as the crowning touch, the American flag. But the real crowning touch of this place, you guys, get ready. This is major. This is real. This is deep. This, again, we are looking at a mid-century modern masterpiece. Outer space age style science fiction design come to life. This is absolutely gorgeous. It is the Miami Seaquarium monorail. I love that gold visor, the tilt of the front end glass, the wraparound, that wrap over white, those two like kind of rockety side spears that become the headlights and everything. I know, it's overwhelming, you guys. This is really incredible. It's called the Tarpon. Every one of the 6 monorail cars they built in 1963 were named after fish. And okay, car enthusiasts, I will have you know, that piece of trim on the rear quarter there is from a 58 Buick, and you can barely see the taillight assembly up there from a 58 Mercury. I will also tell you that during the space age, monorails were predicted to revolutionize the way we all got around, but ultimately they were destined for theme parks and World's Fairs. So anyway, I also have heard that one of these monorail cars still exists. They took them down, I think, in 1990. But I've heard one of them still exists at Miami Seaquarium, and I want to go there and see for myself. So, okay, you guys, now we are in the swamps. Okay, so I just want to say, when I went to Florida, I could not believe there are like swamps everywhere. And I mean, like, you could just be driving around, like, you know, next door to McDonald's, there'd be a swamp. I couldn't believe it. I'm from California. Also, the Spanish moss, absolutely gorgeous. I mean, where do we begin? I know. So, it's so beautiful. But anyway, okay, I better calm down. Hold on. I'm frothing. I mean, I'm frothing at the thought of the next time that I go back to Florida. I want to find the Vintage Airfoil Club, and I want to take a ride in an airfoil. This is an airfoil. It says Cooperstown Glade Rides. I want to go on a Glade ride. Don't you? I know. So anyway, this is Chris Craft headquarters in Florida. Speaking of mid-century modernity, this is absolutely an incredible example. As you can see, I love the brick backsplash of the signboard that in the most gorgeous font practically ever says Chris Star Craft. Those window panes, that awning that is like a tongue curling up at the end, the foliage, the people, and of course that Corvair, you guys, the Chevrolet Corvair, and the 1960 Thunderbird by Ford. Don't you love those three taillights? I know. Speaking of futuristic vehicles, you guys, here's a futuristic vehicle for you. It's kind of hard to see. This slide is a little deteriorated, but I really, really wanted you to see this. At the Miami Boat Show in 1961, they debuted this. It is called the Helibout. Heli-Bout. B-O-U-T, yeah, Helibout. It was a hybrid design. This is a prototype hybrid design between a helicopter and a boat. And here's another angle. Again, you can see it does say Evinrude up there. There's a lot of deterioration in the slide, but you know what? That did not keep me from wanting to show it to you, because this is the most bizarre thing ever. So, yeah, apparently it was never really meant to fly, but it was designed by Brooke Stevens to promote the new Evinrude motor of 1961. Evinrude made motors starting like way back in 1925, boat motors. Anyway, but what I love about it, you guys, more than anything, is besides the futuristic design, is the designer of this Helibout, one-of-a-kind prototype, is Brooke Stevens, the same guy who designed the Wienermobile. But then today, as I was researching the show, I was in a complete and total state of shock because I could not believe the fact that this still exists. This one-of-a-kind prototype, I found it. It is in a museum in Minnesota. So I always say life is full of surprises. Most of them are wonderful. I had no idea that this Evinrude prototype Helibout, cross between a boat and a helicopter, still exists in Minnesota. And the next time I go to Minnesota, I mean, I would make a special trip to Minnesota just to stand there and bask in the glory of the glow of this incredible mid-century artifact. Where do we begin to behold the glory? I know. So anyway, oh, you want something from the past? Fine, let's go to historic St. Augustine. Scenic ocean drive hotels, motels, and restaurants, you guys. So I love that. Is that Ponce de Leon there? So according to the legend, St. Augustine, Florida, you guys, is the oldest like civic establishment in all of the United States, founded in like 1670 something. Anyway, this is what it looks like there. And I'm assuming this picture, of course, taken in the 1950s, but I hope they still have this like Surrey with a fringe on top, this carriage, those gorgeous wheels. I love the fringe, yes. 2 of them there. And anyway, so this is like a Spanish colonial village, you guys. And I don't know how much of it remains intact to this day, but I hope that it does. I want to go there. That is one place in Florida. Well, I've been to a lot of places in Florida, but that is one place for sure that is on the top of my list that I want to go. So there you can see, you guys, between the 2 horse-drawn carriages, there's a guy standing there. Here he is now in the old schoolhouse. And I mean, this old schoolhouse does look really old. Those little doll mannequin children are wearing their wigs a little high up on the back of their head there. And of course you can see there's a dunce sitting in the corner. How humiliating. The teacher and the very rustic surroundings of it all. And of course, standing there beside the rail, striking a pose like there is nothing to it, is the tourist we just saw a minute ago. And he is wearing a very lovely cocoa wool gabardine trouser over what must be a very smooth cotton shirt of navy blue and white button trim. And you can see, a shoulder bag, a man bag, a merce, and of course the captain's hat. Here is that ensemble now in his motel room, you guys. I know, don't you love the motel room? It's kind of a greenish shade of gray on the walls, that yellow padded headboard, that tropical print on the wall. I love the tan mid-century modern furniture, his big camel-colored suitcase there, that lamp on the wall above the mirror so you can see yourself as you're listening to the radio, getting ready for the day before you slip out of your shadow stripe silk pajamas. I know. So speaking of shadow stripes, speaking of stripes, how much do we love stripes? Where do we begin? Stripes, polka dots, plaids. We love it all every day in every way. This, again, I love the scalloped finish on the awning of this trams. It's time for tram appreciation. I know, we love trams. Don't we love trams? I know. Anyway, sorry, I got up. I'm frothing, I think. I just get so excited, you guys. I'm sorry. I mean, I can't hold it back. I mean, my enthusiasm is genuine, you guys. This history so richly deserves to be celebrated. Look at how beautiful that tram is. Look at that stripe. Look at the way they match the seam on the awning. Look at the fringe. Look at the orange upholstery. And that pale green, gorgeous paint job on it. I know, and those people there and everything. What a world. What a world. I want to take a ride on this tram or this one. Also in St. Augustine. So you guys, we are still in St. Augustine. Sorry, I just get carried away. You can kind of see the old town there. There's a grocery store in the background. There's a palm reader on the right and a Pepsi machine, a Pepsi cooler. Oh, you love a Pepsi cooler? Have you had your palm read lately? My grandmother used to read palms. It was the most bizarre thing. She said I had a lot. The only thing I remember that she said is that I had a very long lifeline. So apparently I'm going to be doing this for a while, which is fine with me because I love it. Anyway, speaking of, we are now at a restaurant in St. Augustine. Okay, I'm getting excited. I better calm down. This restaurant, an old Spanish colonial style restaurant. And lots going on here, you guys, besides the tile on the walls. Yeah, the overall decor, that rich, gorgeous stain on the door, the people. Look at the guy there. He's looking at the girl. She's like all like playing hard to get, like she's not paying any attention to him. And then the lady in the blue is staring at Pee Wee Herman, who's staring at the guy, staring back at the waiter, who's looking down at the woman who's staring at us in the green. Of course, we could go on about the dishes, the glassware, the tablecloth, everything. They finished dinner, obviously. But you know what, you guys? Did you notice? Do you notice? Did you see the most shocking thing in this photo, which I never expected to see in any photo, in any vintage slide? That little balloon creature down on the lower right of the table there in front of the lady in yellow. That is a little balloon creature. Isn't it gorgeous? That is a masterpiece. I mean, it just, first of all, the sheen of the plastic is enough to inspire your imagination and make your spirit soar into the stratosphere. I know. I just love it. And so that guy, the waiter, looks like he is twisting balloon animals. Oh, balloon animals. Okay, you guys, you want a restaurant? This is a restaurant. This is a Tiki restaurant. It is called the Mai Kai. This is not a slide. This is a postcard of the Mai Kai. As rendered in 1956, the year the Mai Kai opened. The Mai Kai is still standing, and I'm 95% sure that I know for a fact that it is going to reopen. It has been closed for a couple of years, but it's going to come back. Get on a plane, go to Fort Lauderdale, and visit the Mai Kai. It is, it's the greatest Tiki restaurant left in the known universe. I'm sure they'll bring it back, but they have like, a big show on stage with hula dancers and fire dancers, and it is absolutely, well, it's heaven on earth is what it is. And when you go in the bar, you guys, it fake rains every 20 minutes. I mean, it's a miracle that this place is still there, and we must go to these classic places. And you love A-frames too on top of it. I know. Speaking of A-frames, here's one for you. We are back at Silver Springs where they had the Prince of Peace. This was the grand entrance, and grand it was, pointing to the heavens. This A-frame extravaganza extraordinaire. So it was a walkthrough. I guess it was the story of Christ's life or something. Anyway, it's no longer there, which is too bad, but this is still there. This is the Grace Lutheran Church. I think it's the Lutheran Church. The Grace Church in St. Petersburg, Florida. And it was built in 1961. And let's talk about A-frames going in several directions, you guys. Not to mention that diamond stained glass window. I mean, that is like practically mind-boggling. You could be hypnotized looking at it. I know. Just concentrate for a moment on the energy field. That is where all that glass comes together. I mean, that is a miracle of window technology. And still standing, as I said, this is... Now you want some beer? Fine. Let's go to Busch Gardens, Budweiser. Let's go to Busch Gardens in Florida. I believe in Tampa, Florida. This was built in 1959. This looks like a restaurant. I have never been there. I know Busch Gardens still exists. I don't know if this building still does, but I hope it does. People out on the terrace overlooking the sparkling, splashing water while they're enjoying a luncheon and some beer. Oh, and okay, fine. You didn't want to sit out on the terrace. You wanted to sit in the beer hall. Here it is. Can you believe this, you guys? It's like, I looked at this slide and it says, Busch Gardens, Florida. I thought it was Versailles in France. I know. But anyway, it is not. But I want to go there. I don't know if it's still there, but someone will tell me. Someone do please tell me. Anyway, first of all, I mean, just the black and white checkered floor, the furniture, that curvy, like wrought iron furniture, that yellow chartreuse gold color. Yeah, well, chartreuse. Looks like chartreuse. All those chandeliers, the plants up above there, those columns, the waitresses wearing uniforms with white uniforms with a black sash, or the black belt, little tie of the apron behind them. It's all just too much. Speaking of too much, okay, you guys, this is welcome to Weeki Wachi, City of Mermaids. I don't think these ladies are there for excuse me, but I'm going to try to be dainty about it this time. Sorry, I just get frothy. I mean, sorry to say frothy so much. We don't use the word frothy as much as we should, I know. So word of the day is frothy for Florida. Time to take a drink, and I have to drink slowly because I'm like all wound up, so I don't want to like choke and then not be able to finish the show because I have to tell you about so many more things. Welcome to Weeki Wachi, City of Mermaids, you guys. So Weeki Wachi is where you see the mermaids swim underwater. It's been there since 1947. This is the underwater theater. I have been there. The show continues to this day from 1947 till now. It is one of the ultimate tourist attractions in the known universe. It is a miracle of theatrical technology, underwater engineering, theatrical engineering, and otherwise underwater everything, you guys. So just as you see it here, it still exists to this day. And the crowds, I mean, you have to line up to get a seat. This is it's kind of what you see. It's about a 30-minute show, and there's, first of all, the big deal about it, you guys, besides that you see these like mermaids swimming underwater, is that this guy developed a way for frogmen in World War II to breathe underwater with tubes of air. So they have these tubes of air. You can see the ladies holding one there, and they stay underwater for a long time, and they just breathe out of this tube. It takes them a while to learn how to do this, these girls, but it is a real... Well, it's an honor to be a Weeki Wachi mermaid, and we revere Weeki Wachi mermaids, and we respect Weeki Wachi mermaids. I know, and we admire them. I mean, it's like, really, you're a Weeki Wachi mermaid? I mean, where do we begin? Anyway, so I went there and I went there in 2016. And so I'm watching the show and they're doing it, you know, I mean, it's like, you can't believe you're there and this is happening. It's like, who am I? Where am I? And how did I get here? One of those moments that you have in life. Well, anyway, so it is in a natural spring, you guys. I mean, the show, it is not like a pool. It is a spring that comes up from the earth. So an alligator or the different fish or whatever could swim in at any time. Well, as it were, a turtle swam in, and I kid you not, turtles are very smart. We know that, of course. The turtle did about 3 or 4 minutes of the show with the girls. He knew the routine, like he watches it every day, and he did it with them. I mean, it was like, well, it was just one of those moments. That was one of those special moments. Speaking of special moments, I also had a special moment here at Gatorland, homespun and family run in Kissimmee, Florida, right next door to Orlando since 1948. I do hereby declare, you guys. So I go there. They still have that entrance, the alligator entrance, which, oh, I know. How much do you love that? Of course, click, click, click. Everyone has to take the picture there. But anyway, so I went there and there was a lady selling turkey dogs to feed the alligators. And so I thought to myself, well, I'm going to go talk to her and I'm going to, you know, I like to go to these mom and pop businesses and I like to actually have a conversation with the people and say, you know, this is amazing and kind of get a story or, you know, find out some history about the place or whatever. Lavish them with some praise because they deserve it. They work hard and it's kind of thankless often. So I like to let them know that I personally appreciate it. And so I'm talking to this lady who was selling the turkey dogs. And she said, well, you appreciate this so much. I'm not going to charge you for these turkey dogs, like $1 for 2 turkey dogs to feed the alligators. So I said, oh, well, thank you so much. So I take the turkey dogs and she goes, you can walk way out to that platform and walk way up that staircase and you're going to be high up and you're going to throw the turkey dogs down to the alligators waiting in the swamp below. So I go there. I go walk up the thing and I'm looking down and I go, okay, alligator. Well, of course, alligators are very smart and they know what's happening. They know they're going to get fed. And so this one alligator goes, okay, I'm ready. So I went, okay, here you go. 1, 2. And as I threw the turkey hot dog, you call them Franks or hot dogs. Anyway, a giant pterodactyl came swooping out of nowhere and grabbed it. It just had left my hands. It was wasn't even 1/2 inch away. So it scared me. It startled me. I wasn't expecting a pterodactyl. So anyway, so then I'm like, okay, well, I have one more. So I thought, okay, I'm looking at, it goes back to the tree over there and I'm looking at the pterodactyl and I'm like, you're not going to get this one. You're not going to get this one. And so the alligator's down there like this. I'm like, okay, you're going to get this one. So I threw it and I'll be darned anyway if a giant pterodactyl from the other side didn't come and swoop and get it. So the alligator never got his, well, anyway, so I know. It's monkey jungle, you guys, since the 1930s. So this is where, according to the legend, the humans are caged and the monkeys roam free. So, you know, I know there's all kinds of political, monkeys, performing and all of that and everything, but this isn't about the monkeys right now. This picture was taken in 1950. Well, it's got to be about mid to late 50s because that is judging by the vehicle that they are driving, the little child's pedal car. That is a classic, speaking of mid-century modern classics and extreme high-level collectible in the realm of the pedal car market. This is called a Cadillac. Have you ever heard of a Cadillac? Yeah. I mean, look at it. That is a little Cadillac called a Cadillac. I absolutely love it. And I'm sure they've trained them to, push those pedals and then go around in circles or whatever. But I love the fact that it says Monkey Jungle on the bumper. The Cadillac has a Monkey Jungle bumper sticker on the bumper. I know. Okay, fine. Parrot Jungle. The tourist attractions abound in Palm Springs. Palm Springs. What am I saying, you guys? Sorry, Palm Springs. No, Florida. Florida is a wonderland to discover, and Parrot Jungle is no exception. Again, since the 1930s, Parrot Jungle, I do hereby declare, still exists. And as you can see, the big deal there is for you to strike a pose with it's 5 parrots posing on you, and the whole time you're saying to yourself, I hope this one does not go doo-doo on my hairdo. I know. Okay, fine. You like toucans. Here's one for you. Yes, it is the Caribbean Gardens. I love that sweeping arrow pointing you to the front door. Don't you love the fact that the letters are a little drunk, you guys? I love that. I love that so much. And it's just such a dramatic sign, and that toucan is unbelievable. Absolutely gorgeous in every way. So you guys, I also have to tell you that one time, a long story short, these people told me, they said, you know what, we want to take you to see this car collection. I didn't know when we got there the car collection was going to be at the backside of a furniture manufacturing company. In the middle of the furniture manufacturing company was this giant cage, like giant, as big as my living room. And in it were a couple of toucans. And so I'm there to see the cars. I get to see furniture being manufactured and toucans, much to my shocking surprise. Well, my favorite birds besides flamingos are toucans. So, and of course I love Fruit Loops. So anyway, what happened is that the guys there said, do you want to feed one of the toucans? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I mean, I think that big giant beak would bite my finger off. They're like, no, it won't. So turns out they feed the bird, I don't think too many a day, but they feed the bird Fruit Loops. So anyway, I got a little Fruit Loop in my hand, and here comes the bird kind of hopping over, and he very gracefully with his big giant beak just bites the little Fruit Loop, and off he went, and he ate the Fruit Loop. Oh, it was a moment I'll never forget. Feeding a Fruit Loop to a toucan. Where do we begin? Life is full of surprises. Most of them are wonderful. There was a big surprise when I went here to Sunken Gardens. Speaking of surprises, so this sign is a masterpiece. When I was there in Florida 6 years ago, 6 years ago, it was still there. Sunken Gardens, beautiful Sunken Gardens. This sign is doing all kinds of things. It's showing us how it's done. I love the floral. I love the posts. I love the backsplash of pink. I love the arrow. I love the oval that says beautiful Sunken Gardens in a very sturdy font. Not difficult to read at all. When you see this sign, you know you have arrived. Well, I arrived, and I got there, and I'm trying to get the perfect shot of it. And all of a sudden, with no warning at all, I'll be darned anyway if I didn't drop my iPhone and shattered. So I never did get to see Sunken Gardens, but maybe I'll be back. I had to go to the store and get a new iPhone immediately because the next day we were on our way here to Cypress Gardens. You guys, Cypress Gardens. So of all the attractions in Florida, Cypress Gardens is one of the most iconic, most legendary. It started in the 1930s. It was a beautiful garden. It was the estate of a wealthy couple. And so they decided to start selling tickets to their beautiful tropical garden. And so they did. Then they started having ski shows, and they were very good at promotion. I mean, the guy was a promotional genius. And so by the 1950s, Cypress Gardens was operating at fever pitch. The ski shows, here are the people lined up, the tourists all lined up on the shores of Lake Eloise. It's called, yes, Lake Eloise. I know, I've never known anyone named Eloise, have you? But I'd like to know an Eloise. Anyway, so there were ski shows, and you can see this guy was like a kite skier, so he went up in the air, and the people loved the ski shows. Later, they built bleachers, so you didn't have to stand on the shores of the swampy shores of Lake Eloise. But anyway, after the show, every day, the skiers would pose for the tourists. And as you can see, the little kid there on the far left is walking away with a striped t-shirt. He doesn't want to have anything to do with them. He can't stand the sight of these skiers. But I'm sure that after an entire summer of performing together, that the skiers have nicknames for each other. I wonder if they call Mr. Second from the right Pokey. I know. So yeah, you guys, where do we begin to behold the glory of this mid-century modern masterpiece? This is my favorite swimming pool ever of all time at Cypress Gardens, built in 1953 for an Esther Williams movie. Esther Williams was the famous swimming star of MGM musicals. Anyway, there she is between the two water skis. And it is a swimming pool in the shape of Florida there at Cypress Gardens. So when I went to Cypress Gardens in 2016, Cypress Gardens had really kind of closed, and they built Legoland in its place. And so I'm like, I still want to go. I want to see if there's any of the gardens left. So we went there, And I didn't realize that Legoland like got built in the parking lot or whatever. And the gardens were still there, but they were kind of closed off and nobody was there in the gardens. But the old classic gardens are still there. So I thought to myself, I wonder if that swimming pool is still there. It must be washed away, all broken up, rotted, and crumbled into Lake Eloise by now. So I asked a couple of the employees, you know that Florida-shaped swimming pool in the gardens, is that still there? And they're like, oh, well, the gardens are off limits. You can't go into the gardens anymore. And also, we don't even know what you're talking about. A Florida-shaped swimming pool, what? So anyway, I will have you know, though, you guys, I went behind the barricades. No one was looking. And I found my way through the gardens of Cypress Gardens. And I'll be darned anyway, I'm here to tell you right now, that pool is still there. And when I was there in 2016, it was in perfect condition. Like it had just been restored. I could not believe it. So here is the pool. This is a slide that I found at that swimming pool taken in the 1950s. And I'm like, what is going on here? It looks like a giant grapefruit and a bunch of grapefruit. It's like, I see the Southern Bells there, and there's a bunch of people standing around. There's women with bathing caps in the pool, barely sticking out with the white bathing caps. And then I saw this postcard. Okay, postcard. So as it turns out, as I said, the gentleman who owned Cypress Gardens was completely obsessed with promotion. And he did, they were like crowning queens of all kinds there. And they crowned Miss Grapefruit, and they filled the entire pool with grapefruit. That's where the water is in the pool. So I know, perfectly filled with grapefruit. And by the way, the Southern Bells, they were a fixture there in the gardens. Sorry, I get so excited. They were a fixture there in the gardens, and they were only invented. The reason they came there in the first place is because there was a winter frost, and the lady, Mrs. Cypress Gardens, I'm not sure of her name, but anyway, Mrs. Cypress Gardens was so embarrassed that the frost killed one of the big flowering plants at the entrance of the gardens that she said, let's have a couple employees dress up like Southern Bells and no one will notice the plants because we'll have them standing in front. They won't notice the plant has been frozen. So that is the legend of the beginning of the Southern Bells there at Cypress Gardens. Speaking of Florida Citrus Exposition, here it is right now. Of course, Florida sunshine, Florida citrus, Florida oranges. Legendary, iconic in every way, every day. Doesn't look like that many people showed up the day this was taken in the mid-1950s at the Florida Citrus Exposition. But don't you love that entrance arch? Don't you love that big giant orange? And don't you love those those cans? Those look like giant tin cans, those ticket booths with an orange painted there. You walk up to the orange and you get your ticket, and with the glow of that orange. Reminds me of High C for some reason. I don't know. But anyway, the Citrus Tower, you're going to see in a minute, was built in 1956. Elevator, restaurant, now serving. What does it say? I need new glasses. So you guys, you have to know, by the way, that the slide that I'm looking at right now to refer to is literally this big. So, sometimes I can actually read. Anyway, never mind. You don't care. But anyway, gift shop, circus arcade, cocktail lounge, fresh fruit, glass artist, oranges, and a 63 a Chevrolet Biscayne. Not an Impala, a Biscayne with two taillights. Could be a Bel Air as well. But anyway, we're not talking about whether the Chevrolet is a Biscayne or a Bel Air. We're talking about the Citrus Tower. Here it is. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the highest point in Florida in 1956 when it was built. The Citrus Tower, a classic, tourist trap, for lack of a better way to put it. They had all of that offered to you, the gift shop here, the glass blower, blah, 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 wildlife display. What does it say? Anyway, yeah, again, it's this big, so sorry. But anyway, so you guys, I went there and it's still there. But instead of seeing this now from the top, you actually see, I know, can you believe it? That's what you look down on. Well, there's no orange groves here, but apparently they carved this hiking trail shaped in the shape of the state of Florida. In case you forget what state you're in, this is it. It's surrounded by orange groves. You guys, oranges, Florida oranges, 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 oranges. So, but I love it. I just love this. But now it's all tract homes built in 1982 there, and it's a cell tower. What are you going to do? But at least it is still there. The Maxi Groves, you guys, marmalade, gifts, candies, souvenirs, jellies, candies, marmalades, jellies, fresh juice, and temples. I thought, what are temples? Okay, so it turns out they're oranges. But also, okay, I have to take a drink. You should too. Hold on. there's no cutting here, so it's all in real time. Okay, you guys, so I saw this slide and I'm like, because of the legendary citrus industry in Florida, of course, I have to have, an orange grove in here. I just have to. I mean, we have to acknowledge that part of Florida history. And so I looked up Maxey Groves and I got a little more than I bargained for. So apparently, Mr. Maxey was a very wealthy businessman from, I'm not sure which northern state, but in the 30s, he purchased many acres of Floridaland and turned it into a big orange grove. He married a woman who came from, let's just say, not of means. And apparently, according to the legend, she was a younger woman. Well, so this is in the 1930s. In the 60s, I'll be darned anyway, according to the legend, she hired a hitman and had him murdered. Mr. Maxey got murdered. Yeah, I know. So you can Google it. There's more, but it is quite a story. I mean, they could do a mini series around it, and I wish they would. But anyway, yeah, sometimes you get more than you bargain for when you start Googling. I Googled 7 Keys, coconut toast spread, tropical syrups, Lapan, tropical jelly since 1896. Much to my shocking surprise, 7 Keys is still manufacturing the coconut toast spread, and I'm here to tell you, it is absolutely delicious. You can go online and order it. I did, and I mean, I'm savoring it. I don't want to eat it all at once, but I could because it's absolutely delicious. Oh, of course, when you're in Florida, you got to go visit the relatives. I mean, when you travel, relatives. Okay, we could be here for a while because this slide is deep. There's a lot happening here. There's a lot of layers here. I mean, yeah, what is that? Is that a fly catcher hanging down there? I don't know. But you guys, I mean, there's quite a few fields of interest here. First of all, that backdrop. First of all, the walls, that patina on the walls. I mean, they have not been scrubbed in ages. And apparently they fry a lot of foods because on the counter there is Crisco. Product placement, you guys, is epic here. Crisco, Wesson oil behind that to the right, and there's some Brillo pads there. They need to use those Brillo pads on the wall. Over on the far left, beside the lady, there is a box of Kellogg's Special K, like they're trying to be healthy or something. I know. And then, of course, the people are amazing, as is the cutout of the Florida oranges, that promotional piece on the wall. I mean, they put that up there. Thank you, because we love it. And then, of course, the underwater decals that are placed right on the cabinet doors there, cupboard doors, and 4 handmade crocheted pot holders, a perfect square up above, down below that, a doll and a pot holder had a baby, and then in the middle, one with a 3-dimensional flower in the middle of it. And then the grapes. Now, have you guys seen those grape pot holders before? They are, each grape is crocheted around a bottle cap. Yeah, I know. So anyway, I know. And the people, the clothes they're wearing, the expressions on their face, their glasses, every single thing. You want oranges? Fine. Just like that one in the background, only bigger. Here we go. We're at the parade. Everybody loves a parade. I love a parade. I love parade floats. I love classic parade floats. And believe me, there used to be a lot of parades. But anyway, sorry. I just get so excited. I have to have another drink. I mean, savor the expression. Current mood, by the way, on that giant orange. I've never seen an orange that is rendered to have orange hands. I never knew an orange to have hands. But this one does, with white painted fingernails and holding, just passing out sliced halved oranges, Lakeland, Florida. And there's Olga, remember Olga with the trailer? Yeah, and the palm fronds, that's her with her conversation print skirt. And the parade continues. This is outer space. I love anything to do with the future of outer space in the 1950s and 60s. I mean, you guys, the mood is up, prosperity rules, and we are going to the moon by 1970, according to President Kennedy in 1960 or 61. And you know what happened. Anyway, before we went to the moon, we had all kinds of versions of rocket ships and everything, and this one is absolutely adorable. That needle nose, that red trim, and those porthole windows and those fins that were going to keep it balanced all the way to the moon as it flew around the globe, the Earth there in front. Florida Power and Light Company building the future. Yes, indeed. You want the future? Here it is now at Patrick Air Force Base, about 30 miles from Cape Canaveral in Florida. Is this a rocket ship display? And how much do we love rocket ships? I love rocket ships. I want to be an astronaut. I still want to be an astronaut. I want to go to the moon. It's more possible now than ever, isn't it? I know. Anyway, in the parking lot on your right, a 1961 Plymouth station wagon. That powder blue one is a 58 Plymouth station wagon. And on your far right there is a white with a turquoise trim 1958 Mercury commuter station wagon. Yes, it is indeed called the commuter. It kind of reminds me, the styling of that reminds me of the monorail we saw a few slides ago at Miami Aquarium. You want to see a rocket ship? 5, 4, 3, 2, blast off. Yes. So you guys, I mean, manned space travel. I do hereby declare that they've all taken off from Florida, and here is one now taking off. Yeah, you can see it there. So anyway, everyone's getting a good look. They're all crowded there, except that poor little Triumph. It's like, I can't see a thing. But anyway, where do we behold the glory of the almighty miracle of the modern age of space travel? I know, this is not an astronaut. This is a underwater sea sponge diver in Tarpon Springs, Florida. Yes, where apparently they like to drink a lot of Lucky Lager beer, and he is striking a pose. There's nothing to it. Now that outfit right there that man is wearing in that headdress is exactly what this man is wearing. That outfit without the headdress, he's wearing a ball cap, but he will welcome tourists on the boat in Tarpon Springs. And to this day, they still have the excursion where you can go out on the boat. I went out on the boat, and the guy wears that old-timey thing, and he leaps off the boat and goes walking underwater, and he hacks off what's left of almost no sea sponges left because they've like cut them all off and sold them all. But anyway, it is the Diving Expo in Tarpon Springs, Florida, an attraction that you can still do there to this day. And it's kind of a Greek village, a Greek city. And so then afterwards you have a Greek salad, and you like eat it, and you go like, I love feta cheese so much, even though it's really salty. How much do we love feta cheese? So anyway, sea sponges and feta cheese. Oh, you want to go to Toby's Alligator Must Say Farm? We ship souvenirs. I don't think they ship alligators, but you guys, they also serve orange juice. Again, a roadside stand. Florida is loaded with them. This one, it just has so much going on. I love the, those like plaster things that go on your wall, the wall plaques, the wall ornaments there that are for sale. Just the color theory, the honesty of this, the mom and popness of it, the organic. Just, stop here and we will sell you stuff. We'll ship it for you. We'll do, the egrets and the bird bath. I know, just everything is so homespun here, as it is here at the Shell Factory. I love that car pulled up, that Ford pulled up there. Probably wants to have a look at those seashells displayed so beautifully on that staircase. And of course, the crowning touch, the centerpiece, and the attraction of this, which is called the Showplace of Florida. Yeah, the Showplace of Florida are those flamingos. How much do we love flamingos? Fine. Well, the Shell Factory did very, very well. And in 1960, they expanded with this. Yes, it is. How much do we love? I love the way it says corals. Yeah, it says corals in that channeled sign. I've never seen a sign like that, you guys. A cut channel into a building with the signage just floating there. That is a miracle of signage, style, and design. Don't you love the font of Shell Factory? Don't you love that lady walking across the parking lot who has another outfit like the lady with the skirt earlier? Part bias, part on the straight. The plaid up above is on the bias, down below it's on the straight. And of course, there's a car show in the parking lot. 57 Ford on your left, 59 Chevy, 57 Chevy, and a 58 Plymouth station wagon. And anyway, there's 2 foreign cars parked there too, which by the way, we might as well get it out in the open. I'll admit it. I've always had a wandering eye for European and Japanese cars, so I know. But we're not talking about cars right now. We're talking about inside beautiful TV lamps. We ship anywhere. How much do we love souvenir TV lamps made out of seashells and coral and all that stuff? You can find these on eBay, you guys. Just search search Florida souvenir vintage TV lamp seashell, and you will find one of these. I mean, I am like resisting the urge to start collecting them. So the seashell factory was so successful that it built this big giant sign. It thought it was McDonald's, but no, it's the world's largest shell factory, free admission, inner snack bar, and you too can strike a pose beneath that giant seashell. See the lady in the green floral dress and that big tall kind of red hat there? Dwarfed by the massive scale. Oh, you wanted knee wood. Tom Gaskin's Cypress Kneeland. Yeah, so I'm from California. We don't know much about this kind of wood, but apparently this is the wood that grows up out of roots in a swamp, and it's real smooth and everything. I've seen lamp bases made of this, like in antique malls and thrift stores and stuff. So I just love it. I just love it. And as you can see, these people do too. And apparently this display rolls in and out of a little barn or something that you can barely see there. Speaking of rolling in and out, here's some rolling for you. Sunshine of Simmons Capri Homes. Sermon's beautiful Isle of Capri, now selling 24,500 boat docks, large waterfront lots. And apparently these people are sitting on there, and there's a loudspeaker, and looks like they're parked right now, but apparently they drive around the town advertising these homes. And I love the swimming pool shape there that's painted. It says swimming pools. And this is not an Isle of Capri home. This is a tract home available in Florida, probably about 1955. The sign I read earlier, because I can't read it right now, but it says Bird of Paradise. That's the model name of this home. It is $14,900. I love the carport. I love the stone trim. I love the gentle shape of the A-frame roof line. I love those two, the yellow square and the orange square there. I love that picture window. I love the palm trees. And there's a piece of driftwood there as decor. Inside that window, you see this. A person wearing a trench coat there. Never mind them, but don't you love that? First of all, I love an area rug, especially white, gorgeous. And that furniture, that coffee table is a round disc upholstered in the same fabric that those mid-century modern masterpieces of two twin sofas are done in. And those lamps there that are like flying saucers, where do we begin? That Nelson bench there with that pillow, square, round, take your choice, and those curtains. Gorgeous, aren't they? Again, here they are. The tour of the house continues. The dining room, or is this the dinette? Looks a little more like the dining room. Well, I mean, or the dinette. But by the way, the slatted wall divider there, room divider on the left. Yeah, and I know those curtains are unbelievable. And not to mention the rattan furniture. I love rattan furniture. Mid-century modern rattan is so stunning. I know. Or wicker. Do you call it wicker? And just the simplicity of the table, the dishes and everything. But the crowning touch, you guys, and what's such a big trend right now, and I'm so excited because I remember it so well in the 70s. Houseplants are back. Houseplants are back. Oh, you wanted an upside down house? Fine. We're at Norman Johnson's upside down house, Sunrise Golf Village, Florida. So you guys, anything to draw attention to your tract home development in Florida. Norman Johnson. Oh, and by the way, yeah, there is the front of a 60 Pontiac there. Here is the back of it. This is the house. I mean, I was so happy to find these two slides, you guys, as I have been happy to, you're looking at 30 years worth of collecting here, you guys. I mean, I have thrown in a couple of postcards and a couple of contemporary photos, but all of these images are original images taken by tourists in Florida in the 50s and 60s. And this is one of my favorites, the upside down house with a hanging 1960 Pontiac. Oh, I know. Looks like something that could be in a miniature golf course. And how much do we love miniature golf, you guys? You know, miniature golf, I'm terrible at sports. I'm just terrible at it. I'm terrible. I always was terrible, and I'm always going to be terrible at sports, except one sport. There's one sport that I excel at, and that is miniature golf. For some strange reason, I don't know. I think because I find the force field of a giant shoe, a miniature castle, and a windmill, like that force field of those things around me, gives me the synergy, energy, and focus ability to take that little ball and visualize it going from the putt to the hole. And last time I went miniature golfing, you guys, I got 2 holes in one. 2! You know how difficult that is? I know. So we're not talking about miniature golfing right now. We're talking about that piece of driftwood on the building behind them on the upper left. Here it is. This, you guys, okay, the motel architecture in Miami Beach, you guys, we're now in Miami Beach. I have to take a drink. Take a drink, Miami Beach, you guys. Where do we begin? Sorry, I have to do it slowly because I don't want to choke. Yeah, I know, because I get so wound up here, and I'm really wound up about motel architecture in Florida in the 1950s. This is, as you can see, a sampler platter. It is the Driftwood Motel, as I just said, in Miami Beach, North Miami. Sunny Isles, I believe, is the area that this is called. It is a sampler platter of so many mid-century modern architectural styles. I mean, we could be here all day. Stripes, egg crate grill, the plaid, the driftwood trim, the decor, that undulating centerpiece, the signboard, more driftwood. I mean, and that building there in the middle, that curvy, that's like kind of the upstairs lobby area. Here is a close-up right now. You also drive under it. I mean, seriously, what kind of a mid-century modern euphoria are we in? Utopia. A mid-century modern utopia. I mean, Miami Beach, Florida in general, does not get a lot of respect in the realm of mid-century. Most of these motels, I mean, they were all kind of one of a kind, all kind of wild. We're going to see a few, but most of them are completely gone. But they deserve to be recognized. I mean, when we can, and we can right now, and we're going to look at that room. I know. Drive through. I mean, it's overwhelming to me. I wish I could just like snap my fingers and be right there right now. Now, at the front door there on the right, behind that like 1953 Plymouth in mint green, you see two double glass doors with D's on them. See that? And to the left of that, there's some like kind of shiny, like a fence there. Well, here we are. There's the double D on the door. You see it on the far right there. That little fence is actually a flamingo cage, which kind of makes me cringe because we don't want our flamingos caged. But it happened a long time ago. Anyway, and we have this tourist. And as you can see, she's very lovely, sunglasses in hand, rehearsal shorts, little summer plaid blouse, and blonde hair. Her fashion show continues. Next door, I will tell you, this was another curvy building. We deserve to do the deep dive into the research of Miami Beach motel architecture in the 1950s, but we're not talking about that right now. We're not talking about the vacancy. I mean, yeah, we are talking about the vacancy, air-conditioned pool. We're not talking about that 58 Continental Mark III convertible, which is a masterpiece of mid-century modernity. Google it later. We're not talking about her hat. Well, yes, we are. We're talking about her. This is her again, Blondie. She was standing there a minute ago in her perfect little sunsuit, striking a pose because for her, there is nothing to it. Here is her, I'm not sure if this is her husband or her boyfriend, but in the room was taken this photo. I don't know his name, so I just call him like Buddy Bruiser because he is. Total bruiser, macho dude. Here she is again. The blonde curls stacked up on top of her head, pulled back, kind of like Lucy hairdo. I love Lucy hairdo, I know. Anyway, rare is it to find a photograph like this taken at the shoe store. You guys, when shoe stores had deep dish display windows out front, that showed you every style of shoe they had in the store. And look at those pastel colors. It's kind of got a French theme, a French impressionist theme there. It looks like Easter and France had a baby. The Eiffel Tower there on the left side. I know. And then later back in the hotel room, the bruiser poser continues. I mean, and then later on, I'm not sure how many days later, maybe the next day or whatever, our stack of blonde curls, here she is. She has a portrait done of herself. And I don't know what it is about this picture, you guys, but it is, I mean, this photo of her and the painting, there is something very haunting about it, isn't there? I know. I just love it, though. I really do. I wonder where that painting is now. Somewhere, maybe, or who knows. Nothing lasts forever in this world, so there are no guarantees. That dresser, I know, French provincial. Okay, you guys, now we are in Lake Wales, Florida. This is the masterpiece. I forgot what it's called. Oh no, it's something, the great masterpiece or something. It's a mosaic rendering, glass tiles from Italy, that were done in of the Last Supper, you guys. So the Last Supper. Anyway, I just love the thought of going there. What you do, it's gone now, but I wonder if the mosaic somewhere must still exist. I don't think they would have bulldozed the mosaic, but they bulldozed this attraction. Anyway, so you go there and the curtain's drawn and you all gather around and stand there, and all that happens is the curtain opens and you see it. Can you believe it? I know, I love it. So the tour continues. I don't know, I just had to show that to you just because I love mosaics, don't you? Last Supper. I mostly know the Last Supper from Paint by Numbers, don't you? But anyway, the Beau Rivage Beach Hotel in Miami. Again, all these motels are one of a kind, mom and pop. I love this one the most, not because it's painted that gorgeous shade of turquoise, not because there's a 60 Chrysler and a 57 Chevy parked out front. No, it's because they have a painting of the pool out front. I love it, so you can see what you're going to get. They all had swimming pools, and there it is at night, all aglow in glorious, rich neon. There's no replacement for neon. LED, no. Neon forever. Behold the glory. I love the pink neon across the front that makes a purple glow. Look at that turquoise interior, those two lamps with turquoise lampshades, you guys. The Chrysler's still parked there, and of course, lit up for you with those gooseneck lamps is the painting of the swimming pool. The Motels of Miami tour continues. I just had to share these with you. The Sea Breeze. I love the sign, goes up above the signboard there, you guys, which is just a basket weave of metal. How gorgeous is that? The curved wall of the front of the Sea Breeze is beckoning by day or by night. Unfortunately, the photographer cut off the S up there, but don't you love that S? Don't you love the mood, the gentle modern mood of that font, you guys? And I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of hard to see. Maybe you can see it on your screens, but that big curved facade there on the building has little multicolor pattern in it, which is absolutely, I mean, how much do we love multicolor patterns in anything? I know. Speaking of, here we are. Pumpernicks was a restaurant gives us the address right there, 67th and Collins Avenue in Miami Beach, you guys. I mean, this is one of my favorite slides I have ever found. I just love, again, that warm, rich glow of the neon. I just love the way the neon lit the building, those pink squares that went all the way around, the fonts, the way Pumpernicks is a little drunken, and the warm glow of the interior of the restaurant, the headlights of the cars there at the stoplight. And you can see the stoplight, it's red right up above the NIKS. But what I love the most, you guys, can you see there are people standing in the sidewalk in formal wear? There's ladies in gowns. I mean, what a wonderful, wonderful world. Behold the glory by day or by night or by day. This is the same place a few years later. Pumpernicks revealed as very multicolored during the day. I love it. Yeah, there's the signal again. But again, the drunken font in the multicolor, the white with the green. I know, and those blocks going around the building in all those different colors. I mean, I just want to go there right now. It has a clock and the temperature, what is it, 80 degrees? I don't know, but these people in Hollywood, Florida, are resting on their 1956 Cadillac in the powderiest of pale blues. I think they are indeed, and they're wearing their vacation resort wear. I know, looks like the ladies have been shopping. And I love the other 56 Cadillac behind them in beige with a black roof. And what's that red car? I don't know, but you want a red car? Here's another one for you. Okay, we're now in Fort Lauderdale, so we're doing a little skipping around, you guys, but that's okay. We'll get to Miami. This is what happens when a designer has like a little too much Wonder Bread the night before, I think. I don't know, but I love it. It's the Jolly Roger Motel it's in Fort Lauderdale, isn't it? Yeah, Fort Lauderdale. It's there. It's still standing. It was built in 1959, I believe. And as you can see, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous shot of it. If you like multicolors, yeah, those circles are different multicolors. I love multicolor everything. I love circles. I love polka dots. I love fun fonts. The up and down. We're going on a boat trip now. Cavalcade of sun, fun, and romance. Sans Souci. Frontenac, Crown. So there are a lot of boat rides in Florida, you guys. Florida is a wonderland. If you don't like that boat ride, you can go on this one. The Jungle Cruise, I'm pretty sure it's called. I really wanted you to see this because I wanted you to see not just that green and yellow striped awning, you guys. Again, with a scalloped edge. The world needs more scalloped edging. I love all the people there. And how much do we love bamboo font? Yes, we do. Feast your senses on that for a minute while I take a drink. I mean, really study it. Bamboo font, I know. And the drop shadow in that turquoise, oh. Spellbinding, hypnotizing, and mesmerizing. Innocent. Oh, you wanted another bamboo font. Fine, how about this at the Bamboo Beach Motel? It is a 1955 Pontiac, a 1958 Plymouth, and a 1957 Ford convertible with a blue convertible top. Isn't that gorgeous? I know. Anyway, yes, you guys. So again, these motels were all mom and pop. They were all one of a kind. There were hundreds of them. But you know, in my collection, there are some that were well captured in photos and slide photography. And at the Bamboo Hotel, I'm pretty sure that this is the owner making pizza for everybody. Look at that gorgeous blouse she's wearing. How much do we love cheese pizza, you guys? And there is one of her customers wearing a droopy bathing suit and a bathing cap that's walking away with a piece of pizza, and must be her son playing the accordion. And when she's done baking this one and it's all eaten up, she'll make another one. I know. Where do we begin? Can you imagine checking into a motel and having the owner toss pizza dough by the pool? Oh, I know. And then, of course, there is this. Again, a variety platter of mid-century modern details, you guys, that more than the world ever knew. Florida is so underrated in the scheme of American pop culture and experiential, extravaganzical, ambiancical realm of reality. So I'm so glad that we're here acknowledging it because it deserves a lot. Sandy Shores Motel, look at that. And again, that soft yellow and that turquoise seems to be a color combination of favor around here, and we love it. I know. We are on the backside of the Sandy Shores Motel right now, but this slide was marked Irene and question mark. Just saying, I know. While you savor that moment, I have to have another little drink. Are we having it's like turning a drinking game, you guys. But I swear I am actually drinking, well, okay, I'll admit it, I'm drinking water. Anyway, so this is kind of a sweep of what the backsides of all those motels look like. They backed right up to the beach. They all had a swimming pool as well. And then I don't know who this guy is, but he's out there on the beach all alone, probably waiting for this guy to come along right now. And because he is going to, I'm not sure, but I think this is a taxi driver, and he will drive you all the way from North Miami Beach to the city of Miami Beach. You guys, how much do we love this sign? I know. Welcome to City of Miami Beach, year-apostrophe-round vacation land. I mean, we have Breeze Block, we have Mosaic, we have mid-century modernity here. And I don't know about you, is that a fountain? Is it beneath a fountain? There's 3 spotlights on it. No, I don't think there's a fountain there, but there probably is. I mean, there's 3 spotlights there. You can see those gray spotlights that light it up at night and everything. So this is Miami Beach. We have finally arrived in the heart of classic Art Deco-y Miami Beach. Behold the glory, the Atlantic seashore rushing to the backsides of all these Art Deco motels, and a gentleman striking a pose in a lifeguard boat that lets us know we are at Miami Beach. Yes, indeed we are, and this is on the other side of those motels. We have wondrous waterways. So yeah, I'm from California, so we are not used to waterways everywhere, but Florida we know is a wonderland of waterways. But look how gorgeous Miami Beach in the 1950s. I mean, talk about a giant theme park, you guys, of fashion, of glamour, of style, of architecture, of sense of place, and sense of recreation, and sense of rejuvenation. I know, look at that canal of water, and there's a boat there, and right in the center there is like where you go catch the boats and you take those boat rides. Or I just want to go on a boat ride right now. Don't you? And look at the architecture, you guys. I know. And this is, I just had to include this street scene, typical of Miami or Florida skies. The sky is often kind of silver. But anyway, as it is here, but I just wanted you to look at that sampler platter of 1930s through 1950s architecture. Yeah, Art Deco Miami Beach. I could not believe when I went to Miami Beach. I mean, I thought that there was going to be 3 blocks of it, and there's like miles of it. And look at the tropical splendor of those palm trees and those giant birds of paradise, or bananas, and those shrubs and the neon sign and that bus driving. And we pull up here to the Versailles Hotel. And as you can see, it is indeed a 1930s Art Deco hotel. I'm maybe thinking that Port Cochere area came a little later, maybe late 1940s. And it is coming right out at us like that. I know, and I love the flair of it. I love the style of it. I love the V-beam that somebody mistakenly planted a plant right in front of, so you lose kind of the focal point of that gorgeous V-beam, which then is divided by, sitting in a planter and flanked by a semicircular staircase, a curved staircase, leading you up to that driveway where 1955 Pontiac Lowliner Chieftain and 1955 Buick Century and looks like, what is that, a 56 Chevy? I think it is. Yeah, 56 Chevy. Anyway, so you guys, we need to have some Miami Beach appreciation. We really do. The Algiers Hotel, I believe, was built in 1949. As you can see, it is a mid-century modern masterpiece of the absolute highest order. And the water, the palm trees, the sky, everything about it is divine perfection. All those cars parked there by day, by night. This is a wonderland, an extremely advanced civilization of decor and more galore. Style is just like, and then these people show up. I love these people right here. Anyway, it looks like the guy in the middle, he has a bag with a bottle in it. They've come on the bus and they're staying at either the Jefferson or the Drake Hotel. Miami Beach has something for everybody. Sorry, I'm frothing again. It's just so exciting, you guys. I can't hold it back. But anyway, I know. Everything about this photo, we could be here all day. The sign and everything, that 55 Buick parked there. And, of course, the fashions of Miami Beach. Poolside, a fashion show. I love the kind of, that exotic tip of the roof line there. I love the stripes. I love the pool. I love the patio furniture. The redhead with a ponytail thinking to herself, gosh, that woman probably needs a crinoline a little longer because the soft cotton of that skirt is kind of collapsing there at the end. But anyway, never mind that. We are talking about how gorgeous that dress is, you guys. Stripes, 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 and more stripes. I know. This dress, somebody has this dress somewhere. Somebody bought that dress and it did not get thrown away. They probably bought it here at Burdines, or is it Burdines? Sorry, I'm from California, so I don't know. Burdines. This is a suburban department store in Miami Beach, and the original was downtown. One of the great department stores in the known universe of all time. And yes, you guys, you are not imagining things. That S really means it. How much do you love an S that starts like 40 feet away and then finally makes its way to like saying, okay, I'll be an S, and then Sunshine Fashions in your favorite lesbian aunt's handwriting? I know. And by the way, no, you might have thought this was the airport because there are airplanes in the parking lot. Life is full of surprises. Expect the unexpected, as these people did right here. I love these people. I don't know who they are, but I know what they are. They're lovely, enchanted, warm, and lovely. And I know they're just hysterical, aren't they? Just striking a pose there. Oh, you're hungry? Fine. We'll go to one of Miami Beach's, the finest place in Miami Beach to have fried chicken. It's got to be with a sign like that. I love a sign that's just too big for the building, not terribly unlike the Seabreeze Motel that we saw earlier. Probably the same sign house made this sign, and their deal was to just take the sign right off the signboard, almost like it's going to outer space. I know. And don't you love the 1954 Chevrolet checker cab there in the foreground? Not to mention the fact that if you look back at that lettering, you guys, that is full. Each letter is full of light bulbs, and so at night they are glittering. You love signage, I do too. Here is the Sun, I thought, Power, but no, the Sun Tower. Miami Beach and Florida in general is a wonderland of amazing signage. I'm sure some of it still exists to this day. I'm pretty sure this building does still exist. I wonder if the sun, just that font, if that still exists. This still exists, you guys. This is, well, the new era of Miami Beach in the 1950s. An architect by the name of Morris Lapidus, who is an icon in the realm of mid-century architecture, style, and design. I mean, this was a house, the house of Morris Lapidus, the architectural house. They did everything down to the light switches, and this is one of their masterpieces, the Eden Rock Hotel. Yes, the Eden Rock Hotel, built in the year of 1955. The most distinctive feature of it here is the mosaic tile that graduates from dark turquoise to light turquoise going up both sides there. You can see it. And of course, that giant smokestack on the roof. You can see it here at night. I mean, it's overwhelming. Yeah, and it says Eden Rock up there, but we'll get to that in a minute. It's looking through these slides, I've closed my eyes and imagined what it would be like to be there in the heyday of all of this, with the big space age cars and everybody all dressed up and everything. And it's just like, wow, it's overwhelming. As is the profile of the Eden Rock. You guys, the Eden Rock Hotel does still stand. I love the way it says Eden Rock on the roof. I mean, on that smokestack and everything. And you just saw the way it was lit up at night. And you can see kind of the semicircle. That's looks like gotta be the ballroom downstairs. And then, you know, there was a swimming pool. And as you can see, there's the waterway on the right. Left and the ocean on the right there. And this is the waterway with a picture perfect view of the even newer, more modern hotel built in 1955. That is the Fontainebleau Hotel. Again, still standing, again by Morris Lapidus, you guys. Morris Lapidus. Unfortunately, in his day, Morris Lapidus was not widely appreciated, especially he was by the general public, his work, but not by his architectural peers. They made fun of him and mocked him, but at the end of the day, as you can see, Morris Lapidus, his name is more famous than 99%, even more than other architects of the era. And as you can see, this mid-century modern building is, crystal clearly a masterpiece of the absolute highest order. And don't you I love that 56 Chevy there speeding by. It has no intention of stopping, but it should do a big dramatic U-turn screeching into that porte cochere, because inside the lobby, you see this. Yes, it is the style that I call a mixture of mid-century and classical elements coming together as one. I call this Hollywood Regency style. Hollywood Regency style is a style that started in the Fred and Ginger movies of the 1930s. Yeah, Fred and Ginger, they danced, you know them. Yeah, so anyway, here it is. I mean, you guys, where do we begin? I want to walk through this lobby. I don't know where everybody is, but look at all that gorgeous furniture, those lampshades, there's plants, there's antiques, and out back, there is the fountain. Now, I do hereby declare that this building, the Fontainebleau, was built on the former estate of Firestone, Firestone Auto Repair and Tires. It was built on the Firestone family estate. So their elaborate formal gardens were virtually left intact when they built the hotel. And yes, you can see the curve of the hotel backside. A feat of engineering to make, you guys, this is just overwhelming. And at the end of the day, what's so interesting about this hotel and what makes it so great, it still looks contemporary. Built in 1955 till now, that is a mid-century miracle. And by the way, don't you love those two ladies sitting there, especially Queen Elizabeth? There she is right there. I know, can you believe it? Queen Elizabeth went to the Fontainebleau in 1965. She has a 3/4 sleeve. She has, one of her gloves is off, you guys. Scandalous, I know. And who knew she wore glasses? But she's got her purse and everything. I love it. And the antiquities. She feels right at home. This is not Queen Elizabeth, but this is one of the rooms upstairs in the Fontainebleau. Yeah, okay. Now I'm going to take another drink. It's time for you to take another drink too. While we just have a moment to savor the glory that is this. Are you in a blue mood? I am. Where do we begin? Why is not every hotel room in the world dressed like this right now? First of all, French provincial furniture. I love the shape of the headboard. I love the style of the furniture. I love those lampshades. I love the lamp bases. I love that blue. And of course, the lady reading a guidebook to Florida. And of course, where do we begin? Stripes. The world needs more stripes. The world needs more stripes. The world needs more stripes. Polka dots, plaid, polka dots, everything. This has it all. This is the Diplomat Hotel, built in 1957. I mean, from the top, you see the signage, very civilized, poised, proper, and dignified. And then the circle cutouts that throw like sunshine and shapes on the building. Different versions of shapes and oh, well, anyway, blah, blah, blah. I'm just, sorry, you guys. It's just like, it's too much. It's just absolutely spellbinding. This is hypnotizing and this is mesmerizing. This is modernism, Miami Beach style in the 1950s. It deserves more credit. Look at that A-frame. That's where you enter. And again, that curvaceous front, like the Driftwood Hotel we saw a little bit earlier. I mean, this is mid-century modern architecture that really deserves to be looked at a little closer. And don't you love the fact, you guys, it's gold and turquoise and white and every car parked out front matches? I know. And this is built in 1957. Also, the Americana Hotel. Okay, again, a mid-century modern masterpiece of the highest order. And of course, our tourists there striking a pose. I love it. And if you look up on that balcony up there, one of those balconies, this is a photo you take looking out to the ocean. If this is not brilliance, I don't know what is, you guys. This is a powerful example of great architecture. And it's like, this is art and architecture and much, much more. This is, well, I mean, I'm just overwhelmed. In the hotel lobby of the Americana, you see this. This is the atrium or the terrarium in the middle there. And yeah, it's outside in the middle. It could rain in there or whatever. And of course, you can see that screen in the background, which is absolutely gorgeous. And up above on the far left there, you see those two air conditioning vents. Here they are now. You see more of them. And in order to kind of just disguise them there and turn them into a decorative element, they've made more little circles there, you guys. Look at those light fixtures. Again, our tourists. Again, the atrium terrarium and that screen in the background. Okay, we need to talk about this screen. I know. It's like, where do I look? It's all just too much for words. Can you imagine being in there? Yes. Close your eyes and just imagine being in there and seeing that screen and being enveloped by the art and craft and construction and installation and just everything about the beauty and the glory of that gorgeous room divider. Out back, of course, at the San Souci Hotel, bathing beauties abound. It looks like this woman's missing a tooth, but we're not getting into that right now. Stripes, swimming pools, people having a good time by the swimming pool, and of course, this picture-perfect shot at the Cadillac Cabana Club. Oh, the curve of that swimming pool, the curve of the base of that high dive. Those two palm trees, those big blustery billowing clouds far out at sea above the Atlantic, and two ladies striking a pose, basking in the glory of the glow of it all, and all of those lounge chairs just absorbing the glory of the sunshine of it all. And finally, we take the dive into the pool, the high dive. We are feeling the spirit of it all. You guys have been a great audience. Thank you so much for joining me to appreciate mid-century Florida, Vacation Land USA, Vacation Land Universe. And I feel so overwhelmed by it all. I mean, what an incredible slice of American history. Where do we begin to behold the glory of, sorry, I get a little excited, you guys. Floridaland. Thank you again so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this show, there are other shows online for you to enjoy as well at my website, charlesphoenix.com. And, well, I mean, I guess the parting words are, I hope to see you I can't wait to go to Florida and just look through the layers of time and appreciate what's still there and hopefully bring appreciation to it. And hopefully I'll see you there. Okay, you guys, I'll see you later. Thanks again for joining me. Good night. Whoa, I know. Woo. Cheers, everybody.